Hi there guys, I hope you are having a good day. Grab yourself a cup of tea and let's talk some boxing. Now, AJ versus Usyk, Anthony Joshua will be facing a Southpaw, and a lot has been made of that, especially when talking about the build-up, the sparring and preparation for September 25th. So the question could be, how is Anthony Joshua going to deal with a Southpaw? And is it because he's a Southpaw or is it because he's Oleksandr Usyk? I would say that it is both. I think that he's a difficult fighter for anyone to navigate, whether he's a southpaw or orthodox. So Usyk is an incredibly gifted boxer. Him being a southpaw just adds the cherry on top, because southpaws can be very difficult for fighters to navigate. Some fighters find that very difficult. Derek Chisora is one of them. I mean, he done alright against Usyk, but in the past he has found it difficult against southpaw fighters, and apparently in the build-up to the Usyk fight, it was only a few weeks before that it actually all clicked and came together. So he spent months working on how to deal with that southpaw stance, and ultimately he found a way to get something out of the fight. I know he didn't win, but he put in a good performance and didn't really look out of place in there with Usyk, and he was able to use his size, his weight and the physical advantages in his favour during that contest, and that did give Derek Chisora some success. Now, Anthony Joshua is a different kind of fighter that Usyk will be facing. AJ in turn has to deal with certain things that Usyk will bring to the table, because just the fact that Usyk isn't a natural heavyweight, we always think that that's going to be an advantage to Anthony Joshua, but we haven't considered the fact that that might be an advantage to Usyk, because Usyk is an incredibly gifted boxer. He is a southpaw as well, fast, moves well, and has incredible footwork, positioning also. If he is able to fight his own fight and try and confuse Anthony Joshua and make it out of the first 5 rounds, then he's going to be hoping to get something out of the contest. Now, obviously Anthony Joshua does do well when he goes later and fights quite recently, especially against Pulev and against Andy Ruiz in that second fight. So Anthony Joshua can go late. We have seen that, especially when he's around 17 stone. And I would say, given what we have seen recently, he is definitely around 17 stone. So he is going to be lighter so that he can deal with the movement and endurance of Usyk, because that is what we will expect Usyk to bring to the table. Is he the bigger guy? No. Is he going to be the bigger guy? No, he can't. He's not the bigger guy. He's never going to be. So he has to use what he has to his advantage, which is being very awkward, very difficult to pin down. He does get caught, but he is still able to stick in there. Is he going to be able to stand up to the power of Anthony Joshua? That's another thing entirely. But he does have good movement. He does get on the inside. He can navigate the range extremely well. I mean, look at the punches he landed on Tony Bellew. Even when Bellew was trying to put on that bravado and kind of slip a few shots here and there, drop his gloves, Usyk still caught him with every shot that he threw. And that was when Tony Bellew was trying to bob and weave and all of that. He was still able to land those punches, just showing how accurate of a puncher he is. If Oleksandr Usyk is given an inch, then he will take a mile, and we've seen him do that in so many contests. I know that he is moving up to heavyweight, and there will be the size, the weight, the reach advantage that he has to navigate, but AJ also has to navigate a smaller fighter who is extremely fast and hard to catch clean. So it's not going to be easy for him either. I know that there are things that Usyk has to overcome, but there are also things that AJ has to overcome, fighting a slick southpaw who is undoubtedly the best natural boxer in the heavyweight division. Now, Anthony Joshua has faced southpaws in the past. I mean, Charles Martin does come to mind. That wasn't a difficult contest for AJ. He seemed to be able to find his rhythm very quickly, and Charles Martin did seem out of his depth in there with AJ, so that doesn't really measure up when you think about AJ doing well against southpaws. I mean, it was still something he had to navigate. It was still something that he had to overcome, because he was walking him onto shots. He was waiting for him to throw punches and leave himself vulnerable so that he could slip the shot and land his own. Both times he caught Charles Martin off guard when he wasn't expecting anything to come, even though after the first one landed, you would expect Charles Martin to try and adjust, but he just wasn't able to do so. Usyk is someone who can adjust. He's not just a southpaw, He's an incredibly gifted boxer as well. AJ has faced a southpaw before, but no one as good as Oleksandr Usyk. I think many fighters would have the same thing going in there with him. They haven't faced anyone like him before because Usyk is completely different from everyone in the heavyweight division, a new style for those fighters to try and overcome, which makes it difficult because Usyk, he might be a cruiserweight, but just because that makes it difficult for Usyk to fight bigger heavyweights, it also makes it difficult for the bigger heavyweights to fight a smaller guy who moves that well in the southpaw stance. So it's not just because it's Oleksandr Usyk, it's not just because he's a southpaw, it is both. And that is what makes him dangerous. I would still pick Anthony Joshua to win, but I don't think it's going to be all that easy, especially as easy as, say, David Haye seems to believe it will be. Like, he'll land a few punches and stop him in the first 6 rounds. Might not be that simple. Anyway, guys, what are your thoughts on this? Make sure you leave your thoughts in the comments below. Also, leave a like and grab that subscribe button. Thanks, guys.